So SummerSlam is nearly upon us. Hey everybody, this is Neo Reality Entertainment. We're back with the thoughts on the SummerSlam on the pay-per-view build-up after several months of no pay-per-view build-up or pay-per-view reviews. Mostly because I was on vacation, and WWE likes to crank out these pay-per-views like every 2 weeks now. So SummerSlam has two big themes to it. One is being a bloated stacked card, and two, it's usually called Night of the Villains to me. Mostly because the villains tend to win on this specific night at SummerSlam, which I thought gave it more of an identity. Like, WrestleMania seems to be the home for heroes, and SummerSlam seems to be the Night of the Villains. So, yeah, now heading into SummerSlam, that looks to be a little bit disputed. Because heading into this match, there was a lot of build-up to matches, there was some build-up, there was little to no build-up, they were just there for filler, and there's so far no pre-show announcements, so yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins of the once great Shield. This is obviously the second best storyline they have. Mostly because the emotion feels genuine, because Ambrose has every reason not to trust Seth Rollins after what happened all those years ago. Seth Rollins is trying everything to build up that bridge again, mend the fences, but Dean Ambrose doesn't want to hear it. It would have been interesting if WWE did do another Team Hell No kind of deal during the build-up and just have them finally come together at SummerSlam. That would have made it for one hell of a moment. But I get the feeling WWE was like, okay, we gotta do this now or we'll never get to do this. Especially since there's a chance all three members of the once great Shield might walk out as champion. So, yeah, we've seen some singles matches between Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, and Sheamus during this storyline between Ambrose and Rollins. And, yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus have been delivering great matches after another with Ambrose and Rollins. They've been delivering non-stop good matches, which begs the question why Bleacher Report keeps giving them Bs, except for Seth Rollins and Sheamus the first time around. That was an A-. But Cesaro and Ambrose, that was quite honestly one of the better Ambrose matches we've had since he moved to the main roster of Raw. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting to see where this goes, but ultimately, I kind of already can guess where this is going. This is going to obviously lead to Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins winning the Tag Team Championships of Raw, and we know how that's going to go. That's going to be awesome. But this is going to be an awesome tag team match, though, considering that the pay-per-view is essentially 6 hours long with a 2-hour-long pre-show and a 4-hour-long show. It's hard to tell. Like, there are a lot of good matches that could steal the show, but yeah, it's going to be hotly debated about how this is going to all work out. Now, the other problem I'm having is, what if this doesn't lead to this happening? Like, if it doesn't lead to Ambrose and Rollins winning the tag team gold, or silver, or nickels, or dimes. Does that mean Dean Ambrose turns heel? Because they kind of can't really turn Seth Rollins back into a villain at this point, since he's trying to look for redemption. Wouldn't it make sense if Ambrose turned to the dark side? Because, well, we haven't seen that happen since his time in the Shield, and then it ended. So I would love to see a Dean Ambrose heel turn, though at the same time I want to see Ambrose and Rollins and the Shield reunite with Roman Reigns, as much as people hate Roman Reigns right now. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Like, there are two routes they can go, and they could go either way on this match. So, let's get to a match that had little build-up. John Cena versus Baron Corbin. After John Cena lost the opportunity to become #1 contender from Shinsuke Nakamura, surprisingly, after all the reports saying otherwise I was going to be something else, Baron Corbin took the opportunity to attack Nakamura after their match, and Cena aided him through tables. Yeah, you just need to get a pile of dirt, and basically you could bury him. Okay, I just needed to say that. And yeah, now John Cena has made Baron Corbin look like a joke because of dumpster fire and what happened on SmackDown the final week of SummerSlam is, well, Baron Corbin attempted to cash in his contract. He did. And thanks to Cena, he failed, making him the second person to lose by pinfall. The first is John Cena because he got disqualified thanks to the Big Show during the CM Punk John Cena matchup. And the second one is the guy that should have obviously been World Heavyweight Champion that time, Damien Sandow. He never recovered from that until Mizdow, so it took him a year to build himself back up. In fact, actually it took nearly 2 years, and then they squandered it all again. Yeah, so basically we can say Damien Sandow never recovered. So now, Baron Corbin is in limbo, and also been portrayed as the biggest idiot in the history of SmackDown. Like, I get this is Cena and all that, but wouldn't Cena be honorable not to interfere in a Money in the Bank cash-in when the match is actually happening? Oh, and he almost beat Jinder Mahal, so yeah, let's ignore that until we get to the Jinder Mahal Shinsuke Nakamura bout. But yeah, Baron Corbin and John Cena, I don't know if they can do a good match. Like, this is their first time ever encounter with each other, and I really don't know if they can do a good match. Like, Baron Corbin, to me, has not done a good match yet, unless you count multi-man matches. But in singles matches, I'm not sure if I can name one good one. Like, it's ranged from acceptable to, at least you tried. But we'll have to see. Like, this is John Cena. He can probably get a good match out of him. If it fails miserably, then WWE has to most likely give up on him, since if Baron Corbin can't hang with Cena, then to WWE, Kevin Dunn, he's honestly worthless to him. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on from that. We got Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. What's the motivation again? Oh, we got to bring back the demon persona of Finn Balor. Okay, just sacrifice Bray Wyatt. He has nothing to do. Yeah, this is basically the feud that says, oh, we gotta bring this back to television. Let's just feed in Bray Wyatt. But surprisingly, the final Raw till SummerSlam, they gave away the match for free. It was alright. Surprisingly, Bray Wyatt defeated Finn Balor clean. Really kind of shows Vince McMahon's confidence right now. So, and then Bray Wyatt dumped a bucket of red paint. It's clearly supposed to be blood, but let's be honest, it's most likely paint. It was clearly going to be paint, since they're not going to directly say blood on television, because that could scare the children, even though they play violent video games, and therefore they've seen blood on gaming. Yeah, I'm still not over the whole politically correct society we're living in. And I'm pretty sure WWE thinks that right now. My God, what happened to you, WWE? You used to have the great balls of fire. I had to say that. You used to have the size of grapefruits. You managed to say, no, we will do things our way and whatnot. But now you tied yourselves to the corporate world. Like, I get you're a company and you gotta make money. I get that. But your integrity is really put into question nowadays with the fans. Especially since you have a senile, out-of-touch leader running the company. So, Finn Balor is clearly just fighting Bray Wyatt because, well, the demon persona. Like, WWE hasn't brought back the demon persona, not even at Extreme Rules. They wanted to wait for it, but they should treat it like a really special event. Like, this is a alternate alter ego of his, like a split personality that's unleashed. Sort of like they did in NXT. Especially when Kevin Owens was screaming at Finn Balor during their championship match once, is that bring the demon out and whatnot. And Finn Balor trying to say he can beat Kevin Owens without the use of the demon persona. And I'm like, okay, you're copying Bray Wyatt, what he probably would do. But yeah, I finally get this dream feud for me, and WWE completely fucks it all up. Yeah, they don't give any motivation for Bray Wyatt other than hinting that he probably is fearing the Balor Club. Though at the same time, there's the C Nation, there's the Yes Movement and whatnot. So, and there's Suplex City most of all. So really, Bray Wyatt has to eliminate the Yes Movement, which is impossible since Daniel Bryan is retired due to injuries. John Cena is untouchable on SmackDown, when it comes to Bray Wyatt at least. And, like, they'll really let Brock Lesnar lose to Bray Wyatt at this point. So, yeah, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, I hope you do a much better match, but honestly, it's kind of predictable how this is going to go. The Demon Persona is coming back, Bray Wyatt's going to lose, it's rinse and repeat. Have you noticed something that so far we have a likely case scenario that 3 matches so far are going to the good guys in the storyline? Like, Baron Corbin still has a chance, but considering how SmackDown ended, but yeah. Now we got Big Show versus Big Cass, a feud that I had no sympathy of caring for. Why? Because although Enzo Amore and Big Cass should have been the matchup, on the grounds that they have the story, they have the emotion, especially how they broke up. Oh my god, Enzo cried. And whatnot. But a lot of people have been speculating, is Enzo turning heel and reuniting with Cass? I don't think that's the case. There are rumors swirling that he might go to 205 Live, which would breathe in some gimmick refreshment, but ultimately, I don't think that would be a perfect place for him. But yeah, Big Show, he's just there to me. Like, he says he wants to teach Big Cass respect, but lately he's become the guardsman of the Giants division. And plus, they really killed the interest in this matchup when they put Enzo Amore in a shark cage. Like, even Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, as much as that match was great at Royal Rumble, I still felt the shark cage idea was stupid. They could have just done, if Chris Jericho gets involved in any way, you'll be disqualified. Yeah, they could have done that, but they chose not to. They decided to go with the more gimmicky route. Plus, that was around the same time we had the NXT Shark Cage matchup with Paul Ellering in the Shark Cage. And he didn't even get involved. So, yeah. So, Big Show and Big Cass, like, clearly logic dictates that Big Cass would be the victor since they're trying to build him up as a heel. But considering how things ended on Monday Night Raw, it might hint at Big Show having a chance. Plus, we're nearing the probability that Big Show's going to get his annual push. So, that could happen. If they don't do that, I'll be a little bit surprised that WWE says, oh no, we can't do a Big Show annual push like we do every single year. I still don't get the tradition around that. So, yeah. And then there's also the situation with Enzo and the WWE as a whole. Seems like a lot of people aren't liking Enzo because of his outlandish personality. Now, I am simply too sophisticated to talk about this on the grounds that I don't know the full story, but at least it's better reasoning than JBL saying he would rather be kidnapped by ISIS than have dinner with Sami Zayn. Oh, by the way, he's not on the show either. Also, that made me also think, I would like to see Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger team up. They got nothing better to do. So, okay, so moving on from that. So, Big Show and Big Cass, like, that is now the 4th match that has a high probability of ending with a good guy victory. Now let's get to the 5th match that has a high probability of ending with a good guy victory. The New Day versus the Usos. Yeah, after they had stole the show at the last SmackDown pay-per-view, which sucked overall at Battleground, New Day and Usos clearly stole the show as they were the only good match. Yeah. New Day decided that the Usos wanted to get payback and regain their tag team titles, so the Usos clearly want revenge and want to be at the top again. And then this led to a series of new entrance theme and the Usos sneak attacking the New Day. And then we finally got a match between the two teams before the pay-per-view on the final SmackDown, where the Usos get the victory. And if tradition says that if a heel wins the night before a pay-per-view, then they will lose that pay-per-view. Yeah. So, yeah, the Usos are going to lose. It's clearly obvious. Plus, it's very early into the New Day's reign. So, yeah, they're going to lose. The New Day's going to win. That makes it the 5th match to have a high probability of good guys winning. Now, let's get to a match that most likely will be a heel winning this match. Randy Orton versus Rusev. What's the story behind that? None. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Like, Rusev wanted a challenge. Randy Orton came out. That's it. Honestly, I would have preferred Chad Gable versus Rusev because they had a hell of a match on the episode with Shinsuke Nakamura and John Cena. It was a good mid-card match. Surprisingly, I was surprised they gave them the amount of time to do that, especially it being mat wrestling. Now, I'm pretty sure Vince was triggered by that, since he wasn't at the show most likely, since there was no earthly idea he would let Cena get injured, nearly get injured in a match. Oh, I'll get to that in a moment. I mean, Cena losing clean to Shinsuke Nakamura of all people, like, he's foreign. They're clearly evil to Vince McMahon. Also, speaking of foreign heels, yeah, Rusev is nothing of a foreign heel. Like, they have tried. Like, it worked initially, but now the way Rusev's personality seems to be coming more and more on the mic instead of the Ivan Koloff or the I must break you from Rocky. Rocky 4 to be exact. I'm thinking, what's there to really hate Rusev for? Like, yeah, we got the whole... In fact, let's see. Last year, wasn't he part of this fake, stupid, her sexual harassment storyline where Lana was sexually harassed by, Enzo, and it led to Rusev defending his wife's honor, and they go ahead and get treated as the villain, even though that makes next to no sense. Like, you have a claim of sexual harassment by this guy, unlike Lana, of the humongous disaster. But we will never, I never want to talk about that in private. I'll talk about it with my friends, but oh god, that seriously, it was just a dad joke. Oh man. Yeah. And then on the final SmackDown, Chad Gable and Rusev have another match. Oh yeah, also Rusev, he went on Twitter after he had lost to John Cena. He didn't rant. He didn't call Cena out for trying to screw him over. He didn't say that. He just said, I fought to the end. And I'm thinking, how is he a villain again? Ryan Delbert of Bleacher Report said the same thing on Twitter. How is he a villain? Like, he's clearly a good guy who would go down fighting. So what's the big difference here? He's foreign. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can now start making the case Vince is xenophobic nowadays, since it's become a stereotype. So, yeah, anyways. So, on the final SmackDown, like I said, Rusev took on Chad Gable. That ended in double count out. And once again, I'm wondering, why isn't this not the match? Because they have much more story and more interesting chemistry with one another in their matches. And then Rusev applied the accolade on Chad Gable, and everyone was chanting, Randy! Randy! And I'm laughing to myself like, okay, Randy is not a good guy. He's not John Cena. And John Cena's even... okay, John Cena's not a hero because he doesn't go ahead and rescue people when they're attacked, when he's feuding with that set person. Like, John Cena didn't say Chris Jericho from Brock Lesnar. He just said, I'll just stand on the sidelines. John Cena didn't attack J&J Security during the Survivor Series match after he got eliminated in order to help at least give Dolph Ziggler a fighting chance, because he just gave up afterwards. Randy Orton, he's worse. He committed arson. He burned down a compound. Granted, it was ritualistic and religious, and they were going with cult ideologies, but still, it was arson by the law system. Even AJ Styles said that was illegal, and yet Orton was rewarded. And now when I think about it, Bray Wyatt most likely would have lost the WWE title to Jinder Mahal of all people. That would have been nightmarish. It's even worse than losing to Orton at WrestleMania. Well, not much, because WrestleMania is now Bray Wyatt's losing streak. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, Orton is not that kind of hero. He's not going to save anybody. He's just going to do what he pleases. If that means commit arson, then he'll do it. In storyline terms. Now let's get to a match that has an equal 50-50 shot. Oh, wait. Also, Randy Orton RKO'd Rusev, so Rusev's clearly going to win on Sunday. Now let's get to a match that has an equal 50-50 chance of ending either way. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens with Shane McMahon as the special referee. After AJ Styles regained the United States Championship in a Chris Jericho surprise appearance triple threat match with Kevin Owens the following night after Battleground. Which begs the question, why the hell did they even change the title? In fact, Chris Jericho wasn't even planned for the show, so clearly they were winging it. So, yeah, then they did a rematch the following week on the same night as Shinsuke Nakamura, and they screwed up badly with the whole false finish thing. And then Kevin Owens threw a temper tantrum and attacked the referee. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. Like, security guys, they get beaten up all the time now. They're the new referees, but I haven't seen Kevin Owens assault a referee before in WWE. I've never seen anyone assault the referee in a long time. Unless you count Brock Lesnar to an extent. So, Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan announced Shane McMahon would be the special guest referee, and then they did something shocking. During a détente of sorts, a debate between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens over Shane McMahon's officiating, they pulled something so shocking, so horrifying, that it's clearly obvious that Vince was not there that night. They went to the vault and looked up the old Attitude Era. The Attitude Era, the dark times of wrestling, hide your families. Yeah, they pulled a clip from the Attitude Era when Shane McMahon gave the middle finger to Stone Cold Steve Austin at Survivor Series 1998. During when Shane McMahon was the, quote, referee in that match. Yeah, they did that. They pulled continuity from decades ago regarding Shane McMahon and being a referee. And I'm wondering, it's like, okay, I have 100% can confirm, okay, I really can't, but I can 100% believe that Vince McMahon had no idea what was going on, signed off the thing without even reading it, and basically got pissed off afterwards. Since they acknowledged the dark ages, as Vince would call it. Since, he doesn't want to talk about those times, since, that was the most fun, energetic, most creatively exploiting era we ever had, with the Ruthless Aggression era tying in a close second. Yeah. Vince doesn't like to talk about those times. They were too entertaining for fans. We need to be miserable as possible. So, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, okay, there was originally going to be a report going around that Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon was the planned match, and AJ Styles would just move on to something else, probably with John Cena, as it was being said. But that never happened, so we're getting a rematch, and Kevin Owens probably is going to lose. There's a chance he might lose. Like I said, this has a 50-50 shot of happening because of Shane McMahon or some other thing that Kevin Owens will blame Shane McMahon on. And it's now being said that it's being considered that Survivor Series will get Team Kevin Owens versus Team Shane McMahon. Don't count Daniel Bryan in, because, by God, that's never going to happen. But I am kind of interested, if they really do go forward with it going to the Survivor Series, that won't be till November. So, are they going to drag this out for a couple of months? And if so, how? They still have, 2 more pay-per-views to do after SummerSlam. So, or at least for SmackDown. So, how would they do this? They probably will do a singles match at the next pay-per-view, but I'm not sure about the Survivor Series part. So, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, they have a huge chance of stealing the show. Because it's AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. They're two of the best wrestlers on the planet right now. Well, there are many others. Also, Adam Cole signed with WWE. He'll be in NXT TakeOver most likely this Saturday. So now let's get to Akira Tozawa with Titus O'Neil of Titus Worldwide versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, this has been mostly focusing on Titus O'Neil's brand, Titus Worldwide, and recruiting Akira Tozawa. And I'm enjoying Titus O'Neil being a manager. I bet Vince McMahon has something to do. I bet Vince McMahon was pissed off at him still and wanted to relegate him to manager status. But then he realized, oh fuck, he's actually doing well as a manager. I got nothing. I'm like, I could screw this over, however, I could be sued for that. Okay, maybe not, but still, I'm the boss, damn it. And really, this feud looked like it was heading into a triple threat match with Arya, Daivari, Neville, and Akira Tozawa, but now it just went back to a singles matchup. And here's the thing. They gave away this match on free television, the final Raw before, well, SummerSlam, and Akira Tozawa won the Cruiserweight title. How? Like, they gave away... Like, I get why. This feud has been lacking and has mostly been concentrating on Titus Worldwide and Akira Tozawa's storyline. But why this? I'm confused by this. It was one of the better Cruiserweight matches in months, I'll give him that, but I kind of really like Neville being the whole King of the Cruiserweight gimmick. I still liked it, but I knew it couldn't last forever. Honestly, I gave it a year before it ended, but apparently not. So, yeah, I was honestly guessing he might lose at SummerSlam, but since this whole decision changed, I wouldn't be surprised if Neville gets the victory. Yeah. So, yeah, Akira Tozawa, good luck with your possibly 7-day reign as Cruiserweight, a 6-day reign as Cruiserweight champion. But, yeah, I really hope Neville and Tozawa do a hell of a match, even though it most likely will not be the case, since the card's bloated enough as it is, and whatnot. But, honestly, I'm hoping for the best. And also, since it's also being reported, it's also being considered that Dana Brooke wants to get in on the Titus Worldwide group. So is this becoming a faction of sorts? We got Tozawa, we got Apollo Crews, we got Dana Brooke, and Titus O'Neil being the leader. So does that mean we're going to get a faction of sorts? Well, they're good guys technically, so what's going on here? Like, I don't know about Titus O'Neil, he just seems to be more interested in his brand. So he's not really doing anything evil. So, yeah. Now let's get to Naomi versus Natalya. After Natalya won a elimination battle royale match, I keep thinking Fatal 5-Way. Yeah, Fatal 5-Way. With Tamina, Lana, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. Also, speaking of Charlotte, Ric Flair is best of luck to Ric Flair. Hope he's recovering well. Looking to see you on TV again, hopefully. Just don't wrestle, especially now after what happened. But yeah, anyways, Natalya and Naomi, they've only had backstage interactions. They only had 2 interactions on television. One was a tag team match, and the other was Naomi coming to the rescue of Becky Lynch during the finals build-up to SummerSlam. So there is really nothing much to talk about here. This match could go either way and no one would care. But if I was to guess, Naomi's still going to keep that belt. So, yeah. Now let's get to originally Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. However, Bayley sustained a shoulder injury due to Nia Jax. And now it's turned into Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss after a tournament, after several number one contender matches during the 2-week span. And Sasha Banks has a story with Alexa Bliss from last month at Great Balls of Fire after the match ended with a count-out victory for Sasha Banks after Alexa Bliss just walked off. And that's relatively it. Like, after that, there's really nothing else happened afterwards. They just can only go on the storyline what happened before Great Balls of Fire, but that wouldn't really be enough to compensate for SummerSlam. So, Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, they have no story here. There is no story. This was simply because Bayley got hurt, and I'm not really complaining about that because, oh god, we're in panic mode. But I'm pretty sure Alexa Bliss is going to retain for one reason. Vince McMahon sees Sasha Banks as injury prone, so even if Sasha somehow won on this night, she's going to lose it very quickly, and we'll be back in the whole Charlotte Sasha Banks angle they did for the last 6 months of 2016. Yeah, I'm still not a fan of that whole hot potato issue. So moving on. Alexa Bliss is probably going to retain, especially if Nia Jax helps out. And I gotta be honest, I had hopes for a Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss alliance working out well. Why? Because they could have had a storyline where Alexa Bliss is that slime that goes in and takes the cover after Nia Jax just destroys everything in her path, basically to her ascension to the goddess status of WWE, since she likes to call herself the goddess of WWE. Which now makes me want to see Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss. The goddess versus the queen. Yeah, let's see who has the number one person in the yard. Yeah, I had to do that. So, Alexa Bliss has a huge chance of retaining, but Sasha Banks also has a chance of getting it. But at the same time, Sasha Banks' odds are against her on the grounds that Vince McMahon thinks she's injury prone. So, yeah, and even if she does win it, she's probably going to give it up after a few weeks. So, that's pretty much it for Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. Best of luck to Bayley on her recovery. Hope she gets a character overhaul, especially after what happened in Toronto when they booed her. Yeah, I'm still saying the psychopaths on that. Now let's get to Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal of India. Yeah, haven't you noticed something? These are foreigners, and they're going to be one of the main events heading into SummerSlam. Oh my god, Vince must be triggered! Because, the reason why I believe that is because you really think Vince is going to be happy that foreigners are main eventing the show? Shinsuke's from Japan, Jinder Mahal is descended from India. He hates that most likely. Though, of course, Jinder Mahal is still a heel, though he isn't really anti-American. He's more like pro-India, not really being racist towards Americans or hating Americans. He's just kind of calling us out for being xenophobic. Yeah. I would go discussing more into Jinder Mahal's character, however, there are certain extenuating circumstances that happened over the past week that kind of makes this uncomfortable. Now, I could cough and say what the name was, but you already know where I'm going with this. So, yeah, with the whole issues going on, I don't think I should talk about Jinder Mahal regarding the situation, since I don't know all the details overall, and plus then I would have to go into politics and go and discuss presidencies and whatnot. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura, after he had won the opportunity to face Jinder Mahal in a surprising clean victory against John Cena, a lot of people were concerned. When Nakamura did that suplex on Cena and he landed on the back of his neck, he had apologized, Cena accepted it, but here's the thing. It was reported that Vince wasn't mad because he knew that was just an accident, we all get it, to now being, oh, Vince McMahon's pissed off. Yeah, Vince Cena did not be offended by that, so why are you being offended for him? Are you trying to be SJW right now? So, yeah, Nakamura might be a little bit in trouble. Like, he's more like concerned about Cena, and this is my problem with him. He has put all these eggs in one basket with Cena for the last 15 years. Since Brock Lesnar left, John Cena came in and took his place, and Vince has refused to let anyone else take his place. Or at least create multiple stars in order to fill a void if that one wrestler was to get injured or leave. Like, if John Cena left, oh, then we could put in Muhammad Hassan. Oh, if he left, we could put Randy Orton in there. Oh, if he got injured, since he has hypermobile soldiers, oh, we could just put Seth Rollins in there. Or Dean Ambrose, or Roman Reigns, and whatnot. They start pushing more multiple guys to be top guys, but Vince McMahon still seems to be stuck on this mindset that John Cena is the guy. Roman Reigns is to be successor, and with John Cena moving to Raw soon with the free agent gimmick, which begs the question why Brock Lesnar isn't it. It seems clearly that they're going to finally give us John Cena versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, since they gave away a hint on that majorly when John Cena let it hang when he listed out the wrestlers he wants to face on Raw. Yeah. So, Jinder Mahal then faced Randy Orton in a grudge match. He lost. And once again, people got pissed off at that, and rightfully so, because, honestly, I couldn't believe the logic behind that either. Like, really? You're just going to have your WWE champion lose and show that he can't win a match without the Singh brothers, of all people? Really? They were basically crash dummies for Jinder Mahal and throughout all the matches. Like, haven't you noticed? Like, after that first match between the two, then all of a sudden it started becoming a trend. Jinder Mahal would fight, the Singh brothers would get involved, and Randy Orton would beat them like there's no tomorrow. And also do it in an over-the-top fashion that looks like he injured them. Especially one of them falling in the Pujami prison match onto an announce table. Yeah. So, Shinsuke Nakamura has the big opportunity here. Let's just hope that Vince's idiocy didn't cloud his judgment about making Nakamura champion. Plus, this could really give us AJ Styles versus Nakamura at WrestleMania. Come on, Vince. Just please give us the match and let them go all out like at Wrestle Kingdom 10. I get that it's not Japan, but come on. Just let them go all out. So, yeah. I can't wait for that. I hope Shinsuke wins the belt. But, yeah, Jinder Mahal, especially after he had pretty much lost to Cena and then beat Baron Corbin, I'm pretty sure that just gave away the hint. And Shinsuke and Jinder, they didn't have any interactions with each other, except once, and that was the final SmackDown, where Jinder Mahal was talking about India, how he loves India, how he speaks for his people, and Nakamura just says, "I am going to take your title." Yeah, every time when Nakamura speaks, it's just a little cartoonish for me. Like, yeah, I'm not trying to sound offensive or anything, but the way he speaks on the mic, it just comes off a little cartoonish for me. Yeah, like, I'm not saying he's bad on the mic, it's just his mic kind of sounds a little cartoonish. Like in NXT, they rarely let him speak. They let his actions do the talking. And his wild, eccentric personality. On main roster build, they seem to be giving him a mic every week. Like, in order to make him look bad. Because, oh, you gotta speak. You see, that's how you make money. It's not this talent, it's not this, it's charisma. It's your speaking, it's not your talent. Even though talent is one of the best things you have right now. And plus, we kind of stole you from New Japan Pro Wrestling, so basically we just took their best talent. We just need more talent from them. Like, we got M. Cole. He's most likely to show up at NXT soon, at TakeOver. So now let's get to the most destructive feud. The best build-up to SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman in a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Universal Championship. And this has been a hell of a feud. I mean, granted, Brock Lesnar hasn't really interacted with them until the final week, but Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman, they did all the work for him. Brock Lesnar just had to stand around while Paul Heyman did his talking and just beat up a bunch of wrestlers who used to have big names and now are relegated to being Brock Lesnar's test dummies. So, yeah, anyways. Also, surprisingly, the Intercontinental Championship is not being defended. Yeah, this is the level we're at. Probably because the car was bloated, but still. I'm pretty sure they'll put it on the pre-show somehow. So, Brock Lesnar has been said that Paul Heyman has said Brock Lesnar and him will leave the WWE because of a conspiracy against them. So, if Brock Lesnar leaves, then Raw loses their biggest star because, okay, granted, they have other top stars, but still, let's be honest, Brock Lesnar is their bread and butter for Raw because they like to rely on the part-timers a lot. Heck, they're going to get Cena soon, so that basically fills the void. But Paul Heyman leaving? Like, no, wait. Yeah, that actually brings up a good point. What would Paul Heyman do afterwards? Like, you can't really manage anybody else after what happened last time with Cesaro and Curtis Axel. Like, everyone just looked at him and said, oh, that's Brock Lesnar's manager. Why is he managing these two people? Like, Cesaro clearly should be a face, and Curtis Axel's just there to be CM Punk's test dummy. So, yeah. The only reason why I worked with CM Punk and Paul Heyman was because CM Punk could carry himself. He didn't need Paul Heyman. He wanted Paul Heyman by his side. And Paul Heyman wanted to be on CM Punk's side as well, since they're really good friends. So, yeah. And plus, with the timing of it happening, Brock Lesnar's most likely going to drop the title for one reason. UFC's a calling. They want him and John Jones to go at it after John Jones called him out at the last UFC pay-per-view. So, yep. Lesnar, get your bags a packing. You're going back to Las Vegas. And it's being reported that Paul Heyman, of all people, is pushing for a surprise dark horse, Samoa Joe, to win the Universal Championship. Now, is this possibility going to happen? Maybe. Could Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns be the most likely candidates? Yes. Plus, Roman Reigns being the Universal Champion, it's being said that he might go after Bray Wyatt next, or go after or continue his war with Braun Strowman. But there's another reason why they did this Fatal 4-Way match. Because of Lesnar leaving for UFC, most likely again, it has been said he's also going to fulfill his Royal Rumble and WrestleMania commitments, and then leave afterwards for good, most likely. Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns were all paired up to fight Lesnar because they wanted to lower the chances of Lesnar getting hurt. Which I get, but considering that Lesnar has not done a long match since Hell in a Cell back in 2015. Yeah. Like, I refuse to talk about Dean Ambrose and Lesnar. Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper were destroyed by Lesnar. Well, Bray Wyatt just walked away since he had a back injury. Samoa Joe and Lesnar was just 7 minutes long. 12 if you count the non-timed fight. Goldberg was at most 7 minutes in total for the last 2 matches they've had. No, wait, 5 minutes and 30 seconds, I think. So, yeah. Lesnar has not really been hurt, and plus he's a part-timer. And when they saved John Jones and Lesnar for like a bigger venue for this match, but yeah, I don't watch UFC, so I wouldn't know the business behind that. So yeah, honestly, I'm hoping that Lesnar does drop the Universal title because let's be honest, the Universal title can't survive Lesnar because of Lesnar's part-time status. If Lesnar was full-time, that'd be a different matter. and also it would be more considerate to protect him from being hurt. But, like I said, the Universal title can't be used by a part-timer, whereas the WWE title sort of succeeded with the Lesnar experiment they did a few years back. It's because the WWE title was established already. It had been established for years, for decades. The Universal title's only been established for a year. They really should have brought about the World Heavyweight belt, but still, it's only been around for a year. How would this work with part-timers holding the belt? So, and plus, everyone can make the case for Roman Reigns. Everyone can make the case for Samoa Joe. Everyone can make the case for Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman being the better option regarding as a replacement for Lesnar, because Braun Strowman essentially is a full-time version of Lesnar, except he doesn't have what Lesnar has in terms of athleticism, in terms of his pedigree of sport, of physicality. But Braun Strowman is essentially a beast among men, and hopefully a champion among men. Seriously, that promo was bad, but that was at least one good thing I could take out of it. So, it's going to be interesting what goes down at SummerSlam. And like I said, it seems like this is going to be a mix of heroes and villains winning matches, instead of being a straight-up night of the villains with probably one or two good guys winning. So, yeah. SummerSlam is right around the corner. I can't wait for this. I'll be back in a future thoughts video regarding NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 and SummerSlam as well. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to for more.